The Apostle Island Sled Dog Race, a cherished Northwoods tradition that has drawn crowds and competitors for decades, was cancelled in 2024, not for lack of snow, as sometimes happens, but for something even more unthinkable, a complete absence of ice. Mushers and their eager teams, who had trained all year to race across the frozen expanse of Lake Superior, arrived to find only open water stretching to the horizon. Where there should have been a solid, glittering highway of ice, there was nothing but waves lapping at the shore. The absence of ice was more than just a disappointment for racers and spectators. It was a warning, echoing through the community and beyond. This wasn't a fluke warm spell or a single odd year, but a sign of a profound, ongoing shift in the region's climate. Each winter, the ice arrives later and melts sooner, shrinking before our eyes. The legendary ice caves of the Apostle Islands, once a near-annual wonder that drew visitors from across the country, are now rare. Their appearance has become a gamble, dependent on a cold snap that may never come. Local elders recall a different world, one where families drove across frozen bays, and bustling villages of ice shanties dotted the lake. These memories, once a living part of winter, are now fading into folklore, stories told to grandchildren who may never see such scenes themselves. The very definition of a Great Lakes winter is being rewritten before our eyes. What was once a season of deep freeze and thick snow is now unpredictable, with patchy ice and exposed rocks where drifts once lay. The silence where dogs should have run, the empty trails through the forest, speak of a broken natural cycle. The rhythm of winter, so familiar for generations, has been disrupted. Open water in February feels fundamentally wrong to those who live by the seasons. It unsettles the senses, leaving locals to wonder if the world they knew is slipping away. The loss of ice is not just a physical absence, it leaves a void in the region's culture and spirit. Winter festivals are canceled, traditions are put on hold, and the community feels the loss deeply. The winter of 2024 felt less like winter, more like a gray autumn that refused to end. The landscape was stripped of its usual magic, replaced by a somber, lingering chill. It's a stark illustration of a future arriving faster than anyone expected. The changes are no longer subtle or distant, they are here, reshaping life on the lakeshore. The question now hangs heavy in the air. What will winter mean in the years to come? Will the traditions, the ice, and the spirit of the season survive, or are we witnessing the end of an era on Lake Superior? Not long ago, Great Lakes winters were legendary for their deep freeze and relentless snow. Each year, the arrival of winter was met with both awe and respect, as the landscape transformed into a world of white and silence. Arctic winds signaled months of cold, shaping the people and the land. The biting gusts swept across the lakes, sculpting snowdrifts and testing the endurance of everyone who called this region home. The lakes transformed from open blue waters to steely gray, then to a solid, white crust. This dramatic change was a signal that winter had truly arrived, and life would soon revolve around the ice. In the coldest years, the lakes nearly froze shore to shore, a vital part of the ecosystem's rhythm. The thick ice protected the water below, sheltering fish and other creatures from the harshest cold. Life adapted. Snowmobiles zipped across fields, skaters filled rinks, and children built snow forts, making the most of the frozen world outside their doors. Ice shanties formed pop-up villages where neighbors gathered to fish, share stories, and find warmth and community, even as the wind howled outside. Lake-effect snow, unique to the region, buried cities like Buffalo and Erie under feet of snow. Streets disappeared beneath drifts, and daily life slowed to the pace of winter. This snow was both challenge and blessing, fueling winter sports and insulating wildlife. Skiers and sledders reveled in the powder, while animals left delicate tracks across the drifts, surviving thanks to the snow's protective cover. The certainty of a long, deep freeze connected people to the lakes and to each other. Families and friends gathered on the ice, forging memories that would last a lifetime. These winters were harsh, but they were reliable. The cold was a constant companion, shaping daily routines and the rhythm of life. The traditions they inspired, festivals, parades, and ice sculpture contests, became the region's identity, bringing people together in celebration of the season's beauty and challenge. Now, those memories are growing distant. The winters we once knew are fading, replaced by uncertainty and change. The old winters defined life here, until now. As the climate shifts, the stories of those legendary seasons become even more precious, reminding us of a time when winter truly ruled the Great Lakes. The old winters are fading, slipping away like a distant memory. The once familiar chill that defined the season is now a rarity, replaced by a warmer, unpredictable reality. The air is milder, the snow less frequent, and the once reliable freeze is now a gamble. Since 1973, average winter temperatures in the Great Lakes have climbed faster than the global average. This rapid warming is reshaping the region's climate. The deep cold is shorter, and days below freezing are fewer. The biting winds that once howled through the trees are now whispers. Winters start later, end sooner, and the season is squeezed from both ends. The transition from fall to spring is now a blur. The most dramatic change, lake ice is vanishing. The once solid sheets of ice are now fragile and fleeting. NOAA data shows maximum ice cover has dropped about 5% per decade, down a quarter in 50 years. This decline is a stark reminder of the changing climate. The winter of 2023-24 set a record low, just 2.7% ice cover compared to a historical average of 53%. This dramatic reduction is alarming. Lake effect snow is less predictable. More winter precipitation falls as rain or freezing rain. The once fluffy snowflakes are now icy droplets. Rain on snow causes flooding, turning streets into rivers and creating hazardous conditions. And a lack of snowpack exposes soil and roots to damage. The protective blanket of snow is now a thin veil. The landscape is more often gray and slick than white and muffled. The serene beauty of a snow-covered world is fading. Lake Superior, once reliably frozen, is warming faster than almost any large lake on Earth. Its icy armor is melting away. Shallow bays that always froze now stay open all winter. The ice that once defined them is now a memory. What was rare, an open water winter, is becoming the new normal. The lakes are now more water than ice. The statistics confirm what residents already know. Winter isn't what it used to be. The nostalgia for the winters of the past is palpable. The cause of vanishing winters is clear climate change driven by human activity. Burning fossil fuels releases greenhouse gases, trapping heat and warming the planet. The Great Lakes region is warming faster than much of the world, disrupting weather patterns and the polar vortex. Milder air dominates, and cold snaps are less frequent. Urban sprawl and pollution create heat islands and darken water, causing lakes to warm faster and hold heat longer. Less ice means less sunlight reflected, more absorbed, further warming the lakes. This feedback loop accelerates the loss of winter. The process is now self-reinforcing. We're watching a cycle we set in motion spin faster every year. Without ice, the Great Lakes are exposed and vulnerable. Evaporation increases, lowering water levels over time. Winter storms whip up massive waves, accelerating coastal erosion and threatening property. The protective barrier of ice is gone, reshaping the shoreline. The water's chemistry changes. Disrupted mixing affects oxygen and nutrients, harming cold water fish. Warmer winters set the stage for harmful algal blooms, fueled by runoff and early warming. Toxic algae can contaminate drinking water and create dead zones. The health of the lakes is at risk year-round. An uncovered lake is an unhealthy lake. The loss of ice is transforming the Great Lakes in ways we can't ignore. Wildlife evolved for cold, snowy winters is now at risk. Lake trout and whitefish eggs, once protected by ice, are now exposed to destructive waves. Small mammals lose the insulating snowpack, making survival harder. Snowshoe hares stand out against brown ground, easy prey for predators. Migratory birds linger too long, caught by sudden cold or depleted food. The ecological calendar is out of sync. Trees like sugar maples need deep cold to thrive. Warmer winters threaten their health and sap production. Invasive pests, once held back by cold, are spreading north. The intricate web of life is unraveling, thread by thread. The region's biodiversity is under siege. The loss of winter is an economic and cultural crisis. Tourism, from ski resorts to ice fishing, depends on reliable snow and ice. Businesses face devastating losses as seasons shrink and become unpredictable. Winter festivals and traditions are disappearing, eroding community identity. Milder winters damage roads, increase maintenance costs, and make travel more dangerous. Power outages from ice storms are more common. The rhythm of life is disrupted, from city budgets to family weekends. The cost is measured in lost jobs, lost traditions, and growing uncertainty. The challenge is daunting, but action is possible. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions is critical. Transitioning to clean energy and strong policies. Restoring wetlands, forests, and shorelines builds resilience and protects habitats. Smarter land use and sustainable farming keep nutrients out of the lakes. Communities must adapt, invest in shoreline protection, diversify economies, and rethink winter recreation. Fisheries may need new strategies to protect vulnerable species. Saving winter means changing our relationship with the environment. Education and storytelling can inspire action. Everyone in the Great Lakes Basin has a stake and a voice. The fight for winter starts now. The Great Lakes are the heart of a continent, holding 20% of the world's surface fresh water. For generations, 4 seasons set the rhythm of life here. Now winter is fading before our eyes. The thin ice, lack of snow, and warming waters are a warning, a preview of what's to come elsewhere. Losing winter means losing identity, stability, and natural heritage. But the lakes have proven resilient before, overcoming pollution and invasive species through collective action. The challenge of climate change is greater, but so is our capacity to respond. The future isn't set, it depends on choices we make now. We can accept decline, or we can fight for a sustainable future. Protecting the Great Lakes matters to everyone, near and far. They are a global treasure. Losing a season is losing a part of ourselves. It's a loss we cannot afford.